2 months ago I made a video about the FNAF boss fights. In that video I gave you my opinion on the boss fights and what kind of changes could be made in them to make them better. Now some people didn't agree with some of the bosses I picked. They didn't think they belonged in the boss fight category. For example, the Jackie chase. Now I can understand that. A part where you have to run away from an animatronic without actually defeating it doesn't sound like a boss fight to me. So to make it right, in this video I'm just going to focus on all the chases in FNAF. I'll give you my opinion on each chase scene and what still we could have done better for some of the chases. But first, what do I count as a chase scene in the FNAF games? To me, a chase is someone that stalks the player down while we have to run away from him in an obvious direction. What I mean with an obvious direction is that the path always ends at the same point, no matter if the path split. What I don't count as a chase is a path with no end. For example, the Monty fight. Here you keep running in circles, trying to fill up the hurricane bucket while Monty's after you. Sure, it sounds like a chase, but there's no end goal in sight. You have to reach the end by shooting the bucket, not running away. Another thing that's considered a chase is when the person is actually after you. It shouldn't be possible to sneak past them without them noticing it, like avoiding Shadow Chica in the sewers by using different hideouts. This is more like a hide and seek game than a chase. So now that we know what a proper chase scene is in FNAF, we can judge them. I think it's obvious we can skip all the old FNAF games. Scott never made a chase in one of his point and click games. It is definitely possible to make some sort of chase scene in a point and click game, but I get it why Scott didn't want to do it. Steel was the first and only one that added chase in FNAF. Now there are some chase scenes in Into the Pit, but they don't last longer than 10 seconds. So I don't think it's worth adding those into the video. It all started in Security Breach, which makes sense because this was the first free roam game. The first ever chase we got is in the utility tunnels. This is where we see Monty for the first time. He breaks open a fence and screams, "There you are!" Then we have to run away from him while the other Glamrock animatronics also join the chase. You can see Roxy trying to break through the fence and Chica knocking over some boxes trying to grab us. The chase ends when we reach the top and enter the security office. It's a very small chase. It doesn't last longer than 2 minutes. The path is very clear where you need to go, making the chase really easy. But that's fair, since this is the start of the game. Something very important that we have to keep in mind while judging every chase is that playing a chase scene for the second time is much easier than the first time. If you play something for the first time, you never know exactly where you need to go. So obviously this starter chase was way harder at first. If I remember correctly, I got killed here by Chica when I played Security Breach for the first time. So even though it's a very easy chase, I think it was perfect for the start of the game. What I also liked here is the introduction of the Glamrocks. Seeing the animatronics trying to chase down Gregory was pretty cool. Also the music playing in the back fits nicely for the first chase. It isn't too chaotic and also not too boring. Now I have a small tier list here where I will put all the chases. The first chase of Security Breach goes into the good rank. I think it's a good introduction for the game and is well balanced. I only wished it was a bit longer. There is a really short chase in Security Breach that you probably forgot it exists. I can hardly call it a chase, because it doesn't last longer than 30 seconds. It's the Vanny chase down in the sewers. When you reach the parking garage, there is one last door you have to activate with a generator. If you've done that, you can open up the door and escape from Shadow Chica. But out of nowhere, Vanny shows up behind you and stalks you down. You simply just run forward till you end up in a secret hideout that Vanny made. For some reason you're saving here, which doesn't really make sense. This is literally a hideout for Vanny, so why can't she open up the doors? We don't even lock the doors, they just simply close on themselves. Also this chase is very weak. Most people didn't even recognize that Vanny was behind them. There's no music that plays or a sound trigger. You can only notice it if you check your back or stand still for too long, which activates the Vanny distortion. This chase just feels so out of place. There's no explanation how Vanny got here. I'll give this chase the bad rank. It's one of the worst. The next chase is much more recognizable, which is the DJ Music Man chase. Now I don't count the part where you have to turn all the levers around the area as a chase, because no one's actively after the player and you can hide from the animatronics. This part is more like a hide and seek. But the last part of this boss fight is definitely a chase scene. When you activate the last lever, you have to run back to the security office. But unfortunately, DJ Music Man has found you and tries to get you. While running away from Music Man, he will try to slow you down by throwing arcades on your path. It's quite hard when you don't know where the arcades land. Sometimes they even land right in front of your nose. It is unfortunate that the arcades always land at the same spot, because this makes the chase very recognizable. The chase is also very unbalanced. When you have more than 2 fizzy faces and the boots, you can easily outrun DJ Music Man. He can't even throw the arcades on time. This makes the chase 10 times easier than it already is. But what I do like about this method is that you can look back more often, allowing you to see the epic chase of Music Man. The best part of this chase is definitely the music. It is intense but also an absolute banger, which fits perfectly for a DJ animatronic. I'll put the DD Music Man chase into the good rank. I love the music, the animation of Music Man, and the arcades falling down onto the path. The only two problems I have with this chase is that it's too short and very unbalanced once you have the shoes and fizzy passes. But other than that, it's a perfect chase. The Shattered Roxy part is hard to call a chase. She does run after you, but you are able to hide from her. For the sake of this video, I'll just accept it as a chase. To escape from Roxy, you have to reach the ventilation in the back. Most of the doors are barricaded. The only way to get past this is to lure Roxy towards it and hope she jumps straight to the barricaded door. This can be quite tricky to do, because Roxy lost her eyes and now walks in random circles. She's also very fast and unpredictable. Every time I replay Security Breach, this is one of the parts I don't like to play again, because Roxy is so unpredictable. I always get scared when she jumps out of nowhere. Also the rooms are so tight, which makes it easy for Roxy to jump scare the player. The last room of the fire is pretty intense. Roxy is able to run through the fire, which means the player has to walk carefully along the path. Every time when I reach the ventilation, I always get this relief that it's finally over. I hated to have these close encounters with Roxy, it's just so stressful. Now this chase doesn't come with a special background music. Instead, it's just the music that plays when the animatronic has spotted you. The length of this chase is perfect in my opinion. It's not too long and not too short. It does of course depend on how long the player is able to beat this, but it's never longer than 5 minutes. I'll give this chase also the good rank. Yes, I did say that I find it one of the most annoying parts, but not in a bad way. I find it annoying because it works so good to be intense and scary. So the reason I don't like it is because it's so good. The last chase Security Breach is in the Vanny ending. When you start up this ending, you find yourself back in Faster Blast. However, this time you go through the basement of this area. While searching for a way to get to Vanny's hideout, Vanny herself is after you. I must say, this is kind of a weak chase scene. Vanny walks very slow to the player, giving the player a lot of time to figure out where to go. In this basement, the shattered animatronics also make a return. They definitely made the chase much harder, but it's kinda random seeing them here. There's also one Nightmare Staff bot patrolling this hallway, which is kinda annoying because you can't avoid him. On the end, you reach the stairs and from there, you can make it to Vanny's hideout. Also in this chase, there is no special background music. I'll give this chase the bad rank, even though there's more going on than the sewer chase. For an ending chase, it feels very lackluster. There are two small chases in Ruin. The first one is the Ruined Freddy chase. This chase starts when Cassie walks up to Freddy, asking him if he's still functional. When Freddy turns to Cassie, we see that he misses his head and is now on a rampage. After that, the chase starts. Later, we find a safe spot that Freddy can't reach. Unfortunate, Freddy quickly shows up again in front of the inhibitor. If we quickly turn off the inhibitor, Cassie can use the mask again so that Freddy disappears. Then we can reach the ventilation that ends the chase scene. Besides Freddy, there isn't a lot going on in this chase. There are no falling objects blocking the path or different routes to take. The path is also pretty clear to follow, so there's no confusion on where to go. But you do have to run all the time because Freddy is quite fast. I also like Freddy's dramatic footsteps that shake the screen constantly. My favorite part in this chase is definitely the small cutscenes. It's so cool to see Ruined Freddy screaming with his monstrous belly. Unfortunate, I can't give this chase higher than the OK rank. Freddy and the cutscenes are great, but if you look at the chase itself, it's pretty standard. It doesn't even last long. The Mimic chase is the second and last chase in Ruin. It starts with this epic reveal of the Mimic that tries to kill Cassie. Luckily for Cassie, Roxy jumps between the two and starts fighting the Mimic. After Cassie safely walks out of the room, the real Gregory is finally able to contact us. However, this conversation doesn't last long because the Mimic defeated Roxy and is now after Cassie. This is where the chase starts. The path we take leads to different directions. Only most of the directions lead to a dead end. So to know where we need to go, we have to listen to Gregory. This is quite a unique way of navigating through the chase. I only have one small problem with this. The path Gregory tells us to go is just stick to the right. He literally says nothing else than right. I think the chase would have been a bit more challenging if he also told us to go different directions. On the end, we find ourselves in a hallway with an elevator in the back. Before we can enter the elevator, we have to charge him up with a fast wrench. While doing this, you can hear the Mimic slowly coming closer to us. This is a very intense moment that I really like in the chase. After we've done that, the elevator starts and we escape from the Mimic just in time. Something that I love about this chase is that all the 3 endings are located here. There is an ending if you don't listen to Gregory, and one if you find all the secret cameras. One of my favorite parts in this chase is the background music. It's intense, mysterious and dramatic, which all fits nicely for this ending. The things I would change in this chase is definitely the length. It could have been a bit longer. I would also change the path a bit, and I would give the Mimic a bit more speed. You can easily outrun him. This chase ends up in the good rank. It's great, but it could have been better in my opinion. Secret of the Mimic is definitely the game where Steel made some outstanding chases for FNAF. Starting with the Jackie chase. I love the introduction of Jackie crashing into the office while we charge up the generator. It's so cool to see that the Mimic controls the Jack-in-the-Box animatronic and uses it to hunt us down. Luckily, he gets distracted by Diddy Typer and smashes him into the wall. This creates a hole in the wall where we can quickly escape from Jackie. We then find ourselves in some kind of basement where we have to find the exit. In the meantime, Jackie stalks us down in the dark. When we reach an elevator and go up, Jackie shows himself and starts the chase. While we are running away from Jackie, you can see that he uses long stretchy arms to make him go faster. We quickly end up in a small crawl space where we have to pull some levers to open these gates. After we've done that, we quickly need to close this door before Jackie goes through it. Then we end up in the ventilation thinking we escaped from Jackie. But out of nowhere, Jackie appears in the corner and tries to end us. Luckily the fence collapsed and we escaped from the Mimic. This chase already has a lot more going on than the ones in Security Breach and Ruin. The best thing Steel added in these chases is that you have to do something to move on to the next part, like pulling the levers and activating the generators. Also the background music fits perfectly for the first chase in the game. It's not too chaotic. I'll give this chase the good rank. It's definitely a perfect chase, but not as good as some of the other chases in Secret of the Mimic. Like the next one, which is the Bigtop chase. It's obvious that the first part of Bigtop, where you have to play 3 minigames, is not a chase. The real chase starts when we are on the roof and push the button that summons Bigtop. I love the way he jumps towards one of the pipes, causing it to crash down and land right in front of us. We quickly need to go back inside the factory so that we can escape from Bigtop. Unfortunate, we're not safe in the factory, because Bigtop crashed through the roof and chased us down. To avoid him, we have to run down the stairs while Bigtop slowly crawls down. The next part in this chase is in my opinion the most unique idea that Steel has ever done in a chase. You find yourself in an office with a lot of different rooms. While trying to reach for the last room, Bigtop randomly stomps down through the ceiling trying to catch you. This basically creates a path on the way. What I like most about this mechanic is that the path is never the same. Bigtop doesn't crash the ceiling at the same places. This makes the chase less recognizable, which is good for replayability. The same mechanic happens in this small crawl space, only now the hands will come much closer to the player. Once you've cleared that part, you're in a dark room with mannequins everywhere. Bigtop returns again, smashing through the ceiling, but this time he places more mannequins to block your path. After you reach the stairs, Bigtop appears right in front of you, ready to kill you. Luckily, the stairs can't hold the weight and collapses. After waking up, you see Bigtop completely demolished by the fall. I absolutely love this chase, and think it's one of the best chases in a FNAF game. It's such a brilliant idea to randomize Bigtop's crashing points, so that the chase is always different when you replay the game. The music in this chase is a banger. They took the original theme from Bigtop and turned it into a masterpiece. The build up, cutscenes, jump scares and music makes this chase phenomenal. With no doubt, this chase ends up in the perfect rank. Next is the Molten Dollie chase. After throwing Dollie into the giant furnace, we try to find a way to get out of the doll hospital. When we take an elevator to go down, we see Dollie bursting through a wall, which let her escape from the furnace. Then she spots us and starts chasing us. To escape from her, we need to walk on different conveyor belts. However, the Mimic outsmarts us by walking on the other side of the conveyor belt. Luckily, we find a vent to crawl into to escape from Dollie. A few rooms further, we meet again with Dollie. Only this time, she doesn't know where we are. So to pass Dollie, we have to sneak behind her while she walks further to the elevator. I really like the sneaking part. It's fun and also nerve-wracking. When we've done that, we reach the elevator and escape from Dollie just in time. But after fixing the elevator once, Dollie jumps right on top of the elevator, causing it to stop. To make the elevator move again, we have to tamper with the elevator controls. We change the speed of the elevator so that it can crush the Mimic. Only the Mimic notices this and leaves Dollie's body just in time. This Dollie chase is more like a hide and seek and chase in one. Sometimes you run away from her and sometimes you need to sneak behind her. Not only do I like the sneaking part, but also the elevator part. It's really intense to fix the elevator while Dollie keeps smashing the roof trying to break in. The animation of the Mimic leaving Dollie's body is really well done, and I like that it was our first glimpse of the Mimic's design. The music playing in the back is another masterpiece. It reminds me of some kind of church music, but turned into something chaotic. The Dollie chase goes into the good rank. I really like it, but if you look at the chase part itself, it's quite short. The last chase in this video is the Mimic chase from Secret of the Mimic. Spoilers alert, this is my favorite chase in all the FNAF games. No doubt in my mind. It starts when you press a button that moves the cards, so that we can move on. While the cars move forward, the Mimic falls through the elevator shaft, which causes this epic entrance. Then he throws 2 heavy iron beams in the air like it's nothing. Now we quickly start running away from the Mimic, while the whole factory is about to collapse. We crawl between debris, open and close doors, hoping it stops the Mimic. But whatever we do, the Mimic keeps pushing through. He even knocks out a steel door that normally kept us safe in all the FNAF games. Later in the chase, random prototype versions of the Mimic join in. It's honestly kinda goofy and my only complaint in this chase. Later we end up on a metal bridge that's above the hot liquid that powers the factory. While we're crossing it, the Mimic stops us by jumping right in front of our nose. He slowly walks towards us, thinking he finally got us. But out of nowhere, the bridge collapses and the Mimic falls in the lava. Coincidentally, it also creates a new path for us. We find a car that's functional and hop on. The car brings us to the exit of the factory. While we run towards our van, the complete factory is on fire and every small prototype is after us. Once in the van, the chase is over and the end cutscene starts. This is definitely the most chaotic chase of all the FNAF games. There is so much going on. The factory collapses and catches fire, little prototype robots are after us, and the Mimic smashes through every obstacle. Another thing that makes this chase perfect is the background music. I already said that every chase Secret of the Mimic has a perfect background music, but this one is absolutely the best. It fits so well to this chaotic chase. It's such a banger. The Mimic chase for Secret of the Mimic ends up in the perfect rank. No, actually it deserves its own rank. It gets the masterpiece rank. So this is my opinion and ranking of the chase in FNAF. It's possible that I didn't include a few chases in the video that you consider as a real chase. If I did, I'm sorry I didn't include that one. Let me know what's your favorite chase down in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why don't you like the video and perhaps subscribe for more FNAF content. Also, if you're in the mood for another FNAF video, then click on one of the videos that pops up on your screen.